So this will kind of give you, when I was showing you this paper here, this block here is over part of this paper. I don't know why it's like this, but this is what the paper looks like. These are those individual things I was trying to draw for you. These are the tax suit numbers. So this was a 2012 sale. This tells me 2009, that's the first year of the delinquent taxes. So this is from the 2012 sale, 3 years later, 9, 10, 11, 12. Boom. This is the sale. This thing started the opening bid amount, $2,276.64. So this tells me when the taxes are delinquent from. Okay, this is the suit number. And this is this other stuff I was talking to you about. Prospect Manor, lot 26, blah, 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 all this crap. This is the legal description of this property. So in America, we have really three descriptions, property descriptions. We have a legal description that gives you the address of the property. We have a parcel number. Everything's numbered numerically. So you have a parcel number that describes your property, 1. 2, a legal description that describes your property. And 3, this is the physical address where the mail goes to. So you really have 3 ways to describe this property here. Tax sale suit, opening bid amount, great. This is the legal description of the property. These are people who also have an interest in the property. This mortgage electronic registered systems, this is the lien holder. I know them, they're a big lender in Kansas City, right? The owner of this property is Landis Enterprises. So this guy, Landis Enterprises, owns this property, lot 26 of Prospect Manor. He's the owner. This is the mortgage company. Can you see this? Not really. Yeah, okay. And this is somebody else who has an interest in the property. It looks like, okay, this is this guy's company. Landis Enterprises has another one. Stacy, this is the people's name. Stacy Landis is the owner of this company. So these are all the people they sent the mail to, right? I said they have to mail certify or people who are interested in the property. That's the lender. This is the business that owns it, and this is the lady who owns that business. So these are the people they mailed out these certified letters to saying, hey, guess what? If you don't pay your taxes, you're going to lose your house. And so all these people got mailed, right? And then here's another way to identify the property. It's just its numerical number. It's the parcel number, right? So the county identifies you with legal description, parcel number, mailing address, okay? So that's what all of this stuff I was trying to draw is. So you've got 40 pages of this stuff. So the example I was using was this one here. That's why they put this up here. This one on 68th Terrace. So this subdivision, which is Blanheim, which I buy a lot in. So it's the west 40 feet of lot 137 in Blanheim. That is the legal description. The actual address of the house is here, and the parcel number is here. And this guy, James Ward, was the owner. And this girl, Cheryl Hampton, had something, looks like, against the property too. Who knows what? Maybe she had a lien of some sort. And Willie Hampton Jr., maybe they all own the property together. But so I don't see any mortgage companies on here. I don't see anything else. So basically this tells me that this guy owned the property with no mortgage. This is the address of the house. So from here, I send my team out to look at this house, right? We start here. Okay, great, guys. Let's see, is there a federal tax lien on this property? That's my first thing I look at. If there is, I exit out. This one didn't have one, right? And generally, if there's a federal tax lien, it'll say United States Department of Treasury here at the top. They'll be one of the people who got a mailed receipt, right? But you want to do deeper research than that. This is just, the county messes up. This is what they publish for you, right? It's kind of a loose rule of thumb. But I got to dig way deeper in here because they make mistakes, right? So I've got to figure out exactly, because it's really on you as the investor to know what you're buying. This is just a courtesy they do. So I look here, I see no federal tax lien, I really see no mortgage, but I send my guys out to start doing title research first. We research the title to make sure that this property that's foreclosing is actually going to be something we can get clear title to from the tax sale. Because that's really important, right? Sometimes at the tax sale, they're not insurable titles. There's so much crap on them that no title company will ever insure the title. Because that's the other trick to this thing. You buy at the tax sale, but you got to get title insurance as well. Because not only do I want the property, I want to have my title insured. So that's my first step, is my guys start researching that. Then once I know the title's clear, and I know this is an area I want to buy in, right? Step number 1 was figure out where I want to be. Well, I know I love Blanheim, and I know I love this block. So I already know I want to be here. That's just because I know where I'm at. So this was a property that we bought at this sale, which was the 2012 sale. Let me see. I think I have a picture of it. Yeah, right here. So, oh, perfect. I can do this. All right, let me see. Oh, okay, cool. Look at this. Actually, here it is. Boom. Okay, here's the property. This is that one, 2534 East 68th Terrace. We just saw up there, it was 2534. So this property here, now this is post-rehab, kind of. We weren't quite done yet. But I bought that thing at the tax sale. Look, back here, this is the piece of paper they give you. If you actually are the winning bid at this particular sale, so it kind of works like this. Everybody sits out there like that, truly in chairs like that, and somebody stands up here with a microphone and they say this. And it's always some guy that can barely speak English, it seems like. He's not because he's not from America, but because he's just very, very slow. Somebody who doesn't have a very big brain. Let me see here. He'll stand up there and they read them right in order. And he'll say, all right, this is the sale for suit number K2009-0273. Opening bid will start at this property for $2,276. This is lot 26, Prospect Manor. He just reads through all this stuff. And then somebody sits out there in the audience and say, do I have a bidder for $2,277? They always round up to the next thing. You got to go over by 1 penny at least. But they don't do the pennies. They go to the nearest dollar. And so this, what you guys have in your packet, everybody gets a bidder registration card, right? Looks just like this. If you want to bid, you just hold up your card. So you and 50 other people are like, oh, 2,277. And a bunch of people will stand up. He's like, okay, do I have 2,000? And just like a regular auction. Dude, you ever seen these auctions where these guys do this stuff? So this thing gets bid up. So this one, the opening bid was $3,579. I loved it for $3,579. I don't even know what I bought it for, but I'm about to tell you. Boom. Here, I bought it for $3,579. Oh, I'm sorry. The opening bid I can get it at. I thought they had to go up by $1. At the Kansas City sale, they don't. So your opening bid can actually be the exact dollar amount right off the bat, and then it goes up by $1 from there. So I actually got this one for $3,579, 2010. This is the 2010 sale. This is actually a 2012 sale. I don't know why they. Let me think about that. Well, I don't know why this says that's a typo. This is a 2012 sale, I'm pretty sure. I know it is. So I don't know. They messed that up. But for suit number 2009-0279, I bought that for this amount. And then my guy down there bidding, because on here, they don't put the address for you, right? They just put their suit number because that's how they go. So I have my guy who bids for me just put the address on this individual one because we buy so many. So he just wrote this on there, hand wrote this out. And this is what you get after you buy a property. So that's kind of the little process right there, right? So they cry it off of off the sheet. They cry it off this. They cry this thing out. I hold this bidder card up if I want it. I was the only one who wanted this property, I guess, because we got it for the price that the opening bid. I didn't bid it up over this, right? I was the only guy that bid. If I wasn't, it would have gone higher than this. And then once I'm done, I get this little piece of paper that shows that I'm the guy who owns this property. Now, at that point, though, you don't really own the property. Here's the problem. Does that whole process make sense right there? Pretty easy, right? Okay. So here's how this works. In Kansas City, again, which is my example we're using, the sale is August, let's just say it's August 20th, right? Okay. So here's my inherent problem with this sale, okay? One, you have to be a really smart real estate investor to even understand the title work of a tax sale, okay? And so I don't know if anybody in this room even knows how to research a title of a tax sale, but that's really important. So we handle that piece for you. So that's one barrier to entry. So if you're a savvy enough real estate investor to sift through this list and understand how to research a title work, you've gone through barrier number one, right? Barrier number two is you have to have this cash at the time of sale. Not everybody has cash. They don't take a promise from the bank. They don't take a down payment. I got to pay all this cash day one, right now, immediately. It's not, hey, write me a check, I'll pay you later. Hey, I'll do anything else. It's cash that day right now. I need my cash now. So that's barrier number two. So you have to be educated on the real estate process, and you have to have cash. Barrier number three for me is August 20th, the sale. In Kansas City, usually sometime in late December or early January, they have what's called the confirmation hearing, okay? Okay, confirmation hearing. What that is it's the first time in your life you ever go to court and the prosecutor's on your side. You go to court for this land suit, and there's a judge sitting up there. A prosecutor stands up and says, okay, judge, we got suit number K2009-02759 for delinquent taxes. This investor, Bob, Bill, John, whoever, bought this property at the August sale for $3,579 of delinquent taxes. We mailed the owner the receipts. We mailed the mortgage company everything. We did all the process we're supposed to do. Here's our file that shows all of our ducks are in a row. Judge, please confirm this sale. Judge will say, is there anybody in this room who has a reason why I shouldn't confirm this sale? 9 times out of 10, nobody shows up. because they've already been delinquent for 3 years. The county's been hammering them for 3 years. They put a sign in the front yard. They got certified mail receipts, 3 of them. They got to mail you 3 times. They got to prove that they've mailed you 3 times. They put a sign in your yard, all this stuff. Usually nobody shows up. Now, sometimes there'll be someone who shows up. It'll be this little old lady, hey, I've been in the hospital for the last 9 years. I didn't get these things. Somebody from the mortgage company, you know what, Judge, you guys didn't serve us right. The lawyers always do their little thing. We didn't get served properly. Here's how the law says you have to be served. We didn't get served. Because sometimes the mortgage companies miss these things. And they're like, holy crap, we missed this. Our mortgage just got knocked off. Maybe there was a $50,000 mortgage on this. Well, the day I bought this, that mortgage is gone. We'll see you later. But if they figure out that they messed up, they'll show up at the sale and try to prove they weren't served properly. I've had that happen. So sometimes at this hearing, somebody can convince the judge that this sale was bogus and to overturn it. If that happens, you get your money back. That's it. You're out of money August to December with 0% return on your money. That's the worst thing that can happen to you here, right? You don't lose your money, but you just had money out for 3 months. You exposed it, and you have nothing. So how many times that happened to me? Probably 3. Let's think about this. 3. So I would say it probably happens about 0.5% of the time. So, and that's pretty, maybe not even that much, maybe 0.4% of the time. So not often. And it's got to always be a good reason. But what the judge usually does, it never happens for, go ahead.
I have a question about the banks being served properly. So they're listed as having an interest in the property, are they? So they have to get sent all the letters too.
Exactly.
They then have the opportunity to pay that tax.
Before the sale. Because they start mailing it out in June.
Yep.
The sale's not till August. So that if they can pay it the morning of the sale and stop the sale.
Yep.
So they have the ability to pay all the way up until the day of the sale.
Yep.
And if they pay it, stops the sale.
So does that mean that the original owner keeps the ownership, but the bank keeps their interest in that property, and it just sits
That's
there
correct.
and
They've just done it to protect their
they
interest.
have to just fight the individual owner?
You owe me the money back. I paid your taxes. Give it to me. Right. Yep. That's exactly how it works.
It's better for them.
Well, hell yeah. I got a $50,000 mortgage. I paid $2 to protect it. Right. And now I'll go back and try to get it from you. I'll put a civil suit against you or whatever. So yeah, that's exactly how that works. Oh, now I lost my train of thought. That was a good question though. Usually there'll be some person who shows up, some uncle somewhere heard that his grandma lost his house and he thinks he's going to show up at court and make some great argument to why this house shouldn't go. And what the judge usually does is they don't want to be pricks. They're like, well, I'm going to take this under advisement. I'll get back to you in 2 weeks. And they always send a letter out saying, sorry, confirm, sorry, confirm. They just don't want to say it to their faces because they got, they don't have any stones. They can't tell somebody to their face they lost their house. So they'll send you a letter in 2 weeks. That one's usually no big deal. The only ones that are a pain in the butt are when there's a mortgage involved and these guys realize at the 11th hour they screwed up and they get their attorneys in there to file every damn document under the sun and they drag it out for longer. Or sometimes I just give up and say, you know what, just give me my money back. Give my money back, give it to the bank if it's dragging out too long. Or if I know I got a home run, I'm just like, I don't care. I don't need the money right now. I'll play the game for a year if I got to. If I'll play the game for 2 years because I know I'm going to get a 400% return on my investment, I can wait another 12 months. I don't care. So that's the only time it usually gets overturned. And usually if the county has done everything they're supposed to do, no one has a leg to stand on. They just can drag it out for a while, right? But I have had a couple overturned. I have had 3 overturned. 3 of a lot in Kansas City. I know I bought over 3,000 down there. So I just don't know the exact number, but it doesn't happen often, right? I can think of the 3 times that they all pissed me off. So I 3 good houses too.
How much more it will be costing? We bought the property at 3,579.
Yep.
And then at legal.
Yep.
And then getting the title converted.
Yep.
How much total it will be costing?
Well, that's it. You pay the $3,579. Now, usually, okay. So here, let me keep walking through this. So the confirmation here is in January, and then you don't get your deed until like February. Sorry, I'm bad at this. February deed. Left-handed guy. Dang it. So you don't really get the deed till February, right? So you buy in August, you're confirmed December, January, middle of February you get the deed. So I've got September, October, November, December, January, February. That's why I said 6 months. 6 months I finally get my deed. I really can't do anything until I get my deed. I think I own the property at this point. What I usually do is on the 20th day of August, once I've bought this, I send my crews out to the houses to board it up. I don't own it yet, but I figure I will own it because, like I said, 0.3% of the time I don't. So what I want to do is protect that thing right now because August is summer, February is winter. Between here and here, pipes can freeze. What I don't want to have happen is there's water in the house, pipes freeze, burst, and all of a sudden I got more damage. So I send my guys over, turn the water off, winterize the pipes, board it up, right? Because I'm just trying to protect the asset. So more money, I probably spend $400 to go board the house up and winterize it, right? Just to protect my asset, because I'm trying to just save it till February. Go ahead.
You're technically allowed to, like, you don't.
It's not mine. I don't. Yeah, no. But I mean, no one's.
No one's looking after.
Yeah, no one's even looked at the house, and yeah, you go over there, the grass is this high. I mean, it's like, who's going to be mad at me? Yeah, it's a safe. It's like an insurance policy for me. So $300 to $400, I board up the house, right, and then and send my guys to winterize it. So then in February I own it. I don't have to pay anything else. Now I have a house that's in bad shape, so I got to pay to fix it up. But there's no more money out of my pocket. There's no, except for between here and here, there's another tax payment due, because at the end of the year in December is when taxes are due. So you've just paid the back 3 years, but now the newest year you owe. So whatever the taxes were, like, we can do the math here, take that divided by 3, right? So the taxes are $1,200, whatever. So I owe another $1,200. So you'd owe $3,579 plus the next year's taxes of $1,200. That would be the additional, because you've just realized another year worth of taxes.
Plus court attendance, plus title insurance, plus building insurance.
Well, okay, title insurance is usually on this type of property $250. If you want to insure the dwelling, I don't insure my properties, but here's why. I basically self-insure. If I have 200 properties I run through a month, and my insurance premium, let's say, is $200, so that's 200 times 200 per month, right? I have like one burn every 4 years, so every time one of my houses burns, say I get a check for 70 grand. Well, crap, I just paid 300 grand in premiums for the last 3 years, so I don't insure anything just because I basically self-insure. It just makes me more sense. But if your guy only has 1 or 2 houses, you should insure them, because you can't play the numbers game that I do. So yeah, insurance on this is probably $450 a year. Okay, so $450 for 1 year's insurance, $250 for title insurance. That's $700. 1 year's taxes, $1,200. So another $2 grand plus $400, so probably $2,500 additional, and all that bull crap stuff. Yeah, that's about right. Let's say $3 grand worst case to hold it the whole time. If you're completely secure, right? Title insurance, building insurance, boarded up, protected. That gets you at least to here. Now once you get to here, other things come into play, right? I got to fix it up and things like that.
Plus attorney charges to attend this.
The what?
Attorney charges.
The what charges?
Legal charges.
Well, there's no legal. The title company for $250 puts the title insurance. There's no real legal charge. Oh, here no, because the county is your lawyer, and so you just all you have to do is pay your gas money to get there and pay the parking meter. You walk in, the prosecutor is your lawyer. You don't have to pay him, because he's there saying, "Listen, judge, these pricks didn't pay their taxes for 3 years, and this great investor helped out the county and saved us by giving us money. So there is no legal fees for you here. You have free counsel, which is the state. The state is your free counsel. So really, it's probably $2,500 to $3 grand of the cost you're talking about to get us to here, to the point where we can either flip it, fix it up, do whatever we want to do with it. So that's probably a real good number. Just add 25 to $3 grand, or take a third of those taxes plus 250 plus 400 plus 350 for insurance. So $1,000 on top of whatever a year's taxes are would probably be about right. Plus 500 for the boarding up. So $1,500 in soft costs plus 1 year's taxes. That's how you do that. Good.
Would it be easy to insure a property that you don't own anyway?
They won't let you do it. That's the problem. That's the problem. Okay, so that's why I boarded up. From here
Yeah.
to here, I can't insure it. Right, that's the problem.
And they can't go in and check it.
If you don't have title, the company, right. But there's a couple companies that will give you another type of insurance policy on this that we have. They'll write it for you even though you don't own it. It's a different type of policy. It only covers certain things like a tornado or a fire. It's not going to cover any theft or anything. I mean, just not.
It's more like an insurance for covering a business investment in general.
It's almost like this. You know, if you have a life insurance policy, if you die for any reason, you get paid out. And then there's another one like accidental death. Like I got ran over by a car, but it wasn't health reasons. It's kind of like that. It's a trimmed down policy that only covers a couple things. Now, after the confirmation hearing, you can get a full policy. Okay? So your exposure is from August to December, January. But really, okay, theft, yeah, it's possible, but I'm going to board it up. But the thing's been vacant for 3 years. How much more can be stolen out of it? There's really nothing in it, right? I mean, these houses are so freaking messed up. And I'm just gonna let you know, all these houses are in bad shape, okay? That are $3 grand. I mean, I'm not gonna lie to you. There's a reason it's $3 grand and no one wants it. But it's still a house for $3 grand. I mean, okay? Now, some of the nicer ones, like that one I bought for 75 grand, the big white one I showed you, well, that one started at $20,000 of back taxes. Other guys were bidding it up. I bid it to 75, right? That one was in a lot better shape. So, hell, some of them I bid up to 150, 250, 300 grand. These are nicer houses. These are just the bottom ones I'm talking about here. But we do, I mean, I bought a building for $1.2 million in 2011, right? It was a building downtown just like this for $1.2 million. The taxes started at 500 grand. I built it up to $1.2 million. You know, we ended up selling it for almost 3. It needed a lot of work, but so there's all properties all the way up to scale. They're not all just like this. And I'll show you probably on one of these. I wish I had a whole paper here. I'd show you, but sometimes you'll see the taxes. They're starting at like, you know, $975,000 of back taxes. And I'm like, oh, I like those. I'm like, what is that? You know, it's some huge building somewhere. It's an apartment complex. You know, so I got off track though. Did I answer your question? Okay. So, but here I'm just focusing on the little houses. But no, whenever I give you guys the research, it'll be on everything, on the houses, the buildings, everything I research, I'll put on with you guys. So your real exposures from here to here, you got to have this special type of insurance, okay? If you want to insure this thing from here to here, I need to board it up. I got to have a special type of insurance, and then here I can get a real insurance policy. So that's, but again, as long as you're insured against fire and tornado, there's nothing else that happens in this area. There's no floods, we're nowhere near a river, nowhere near an ocean. If we get flooded there, we're in a lot of trouble because I mean the whole world's going to be underwater. You know, is there tornadoes there? Yeah. I mean, this house is built. I know this house was built in 1910, so it hasn't been knocked down in the last 100 years by a tornado. So, but still, it's a possibility. Fire was the one thing I worry about because when they're so old and people have been robbing stuff out of them, pulling weird wires here and there, and homeless people break in at night in the winter, they're cold, right? And they'll build a fire for you sometimes, right? And if they're huffing paint or doing whatever they do, they could catch the whole damn house on fire. So that's the only one I'm really worried about is a house fire. So that's your real exposure, but we minimize those things, right? I mean, and I don't want any more theft. That's why I board them up. So that's kind of how this process works. Does that make sense to everybody? Okay. Yeah, so this is that house that I bought for $3,500. This one was actually a really good deal for me because it only needed 10 grand in rehab, right? So I was into this one for less than 20. It rents for 750. 20 grand renting for 750 is a pretty good deal. So this was a great buy for me.
So you can't renovate them until you actually get the deed?
Well, here's what I do, okay? I'm a little more aggressive than I would be with your guys' money. To be honest with you, what I do is here on August 20th, I'll board it up, right? Once this thing's confirmed in January or December, I don't have the deed yet, but I know it's coming. The day it's confirmed, I call my guys up. I said, listen, guys, it's confirmed. Go do your thing. I'm going to get my deed. I can't get title insurance till I get the deed. I can't really get the insurance policy that I want till I get my deed. But I've done enough of these to know the way this is going to work. I'll roll those dice. I've never lost from here to here, okay? I wouldn't do it with your guys' money because there's a risk. But for me, this day here, unless you want me to, I mean, I'll tell you, here's the risks, guys. If you want me to go, we'll go. But I start fixing up this day. I send my guys out and boom, I'm ready to go. Sometimes I start here, for real. If I know there's no mortgage companies involved, is I know what pitfalls are going to maybe jam me up here. So if here I know there's no mortgage companies, nothing that's going to kind of jam me up, I'll tell my guys to start day one. Because sometimes I start here, I already got a contract to sell it, I'm just waiting for this deed. Because if I start here, fix it up, all of a sudden confirmation here, I've already fixed it up. You know, then I market it. I'm marketing it to sell. By the time the deed comes, the guy who I'm selling it to is ready to close. I'm closing the day I get my deed. But I'm a little more aggressive, right? So that's what I do. Now, logistically, we might want to do this and wait the proper way because you guys, it's a little different, right? But I'm a little more aggressive. But we can.
And how long does it take to renovate from those?
Okay, it depends on how much work, right? Like that big one I showed you guys at the beginning, that was like a 300 to 400 grand rehab. That would have been a 3 or 4 month project that would have murdered my crews. Like I don't like those big jobs. And there's too many skeletons in the closet. It's like, I don't know. You know, here's a funny story about that house, though. I'll tell you the story. So that big house, that 7,000 square foot house, right? In Kansas City, okay, Chicago was like a big gangster mob. I don't know if you guys ever watch this mafia stuff from America, right? So in Chicago was a big area for that. Well, when they ran these guys out, they came to Kansas City in the early 1900s, the 20s, 30s. Well, that particular block has all these big houses that were built around this time from these old mobsters and stuff. Well, when I bought this house, this society of paranormal people, something like all these ghost things, came and he was like, listen, that house has the highest level of paranormal activity anywhere in the Midwest. And so they had this whole story about this mobster guy that lived there, and they thought he had some money buried in the basement. So these guys gave me, this is true, when I bought it here, I hadn't even got confirmed yet, but these guys heard I'd bought it, They came to me and went with these devices. They were in the basement. They're looking for this buried treasure. So they gave me 10 grand, literally. These guys, they were so sure there was buried treasure here and there was ghosts. I made them give me 10 grand. So if you find any treasure, I get half the treasure. And they gave me 10 grand so they could have access to the thing for 2 months. They were holding seances down. I'm saying it's the weirdest thing I've ever heard in my life. I never walked foot in that house after this. But allegedly, they thought there was this buried treasure from these mobsters there. So for 2 months, they're looking for it, digging stuff up in the basement. But they never found anything. So I don't know what happened. They quit calling me, but that's just a funny side note. But yeah, so that house there would have been a 3-month rehab. I didn't want to do it. So I just flipped out of it. I sold it to a guy 2 doors down. It was an older man, and his son was an architect, and this house is beautiful. Like it has huge round, pillars, towers in it. It's a beautiful, beautiful old home. It just is trashed. So he wanted to do it for himself, so I flipped it to him. This rehab was 2 weeks. You know what I mean? This one didn't need hardly anything, right? I mean, 15 grand work. Like I said, I was into this one for 20 or less. So it's anywhere from a 2-week rehab to a 3-month. But I'm not going to put you guys in those deals that take too long to rehab. I'll just educate you. I'll say, hey, this is a 3-month rehab. You probably don't want to do it. Here's why. But if you have a different opinion, I can only give you the facts. You have to make the decisions yourself. I'll give you my opinion, and I'll tell you the facts. So 2 weeks to 4 months, just depends. All right. Oh, yeah, so here's the house with the ghosts. Oh, yeah, here it is. Here's what I bought it for. Okay, yeah, this is the big one. This one's 7,000 square feet. The house next door sold for $2 million. One of my buddies lives in it. But yeah, so this is the one. I just want to show you this. Okay, yeah, I bought it for $21,000. Sorry. Okay, $21,000 is what I bought that big old house for. That's it. 3316 Harrison was that big one. So pretty good deal. 7,000 square foot house. I mean, it's 3 stories. It's got this huge carriage behind, like carriage house and stone. Like it was an old, cool house. So I sold it for 57. So. Okay, what I make? 30 something? Whatever. No, I sold it for 75. Sith. No, hell no. That was the 4-month one. I was like, hell no. And there was ghosting. After I heard that, I said, shit, we're not touching this house. So, and I sent a crew in there to clean it out, right? And so my Mexican crew was over. And listen, this is what's weird. I have all my workers in Kansas City are Hispanics. I love Hispanic workers. They do a really good job for cheap. And so they're over there working. And my main guy is like, listen, Tyler, he's like, I don't know what's going on, but we're upstairs working. Doors are slamming downstairs. He's like, I don't know if someone's living in the house or hiding from us, like in somewhere in these, because there's all these back chambers, like for the servants and stuff like that. It's this big old grand house. And he's like, but something weird's going on in that house. I didn't tell him about the deal. I said, listen, just don't go back over there. So I don't know. That house freaked me out. But nevertheless, it didn't freak me out too bad because I made almost a 200% rate of return in 4 months. So. So this is just an example. So I mean, this is a real life deal, right? This is what the county gives us. Boom. Now this is my proof that I bought that house right there. This is 3316 Harrison. I mean, that's what I'm saying. I watch these stupid tax lien videos. I watched them in preparation for this. I watched 3 guys. None of them ever bought a property in their life, I don't think. But this is the real deal. I bought this damn property for 21 grand. This is the real deal, right? This isn't a joke. This isn't a lie. This isn't like something that maybe happens sometimes, like. And I don't know. Never mind. I was going to bag on somebody else, but I'm not. This is the real deal. This isn't like some thing that only happens every once in a while. I went to the sale and bought 100 properties with all these. I mean, I could have given you 100 more. I'm just giving you guys examples. Now, the problem is, great. A lot of people don't know how to do the research. A lot of people don't have cash to buy at the time of sale. Ooh, also, this one had another tax lien on it. This one had a federal tax lien. There's a federal. I forgot about that. That one had a federal tax lien for $13,000. So, but I didn't care because I knew I was buying it for 21. I'll just pay his $13,000. I'm going to try to get out of it. But 21 plus 13, I'm still into that one for 44. Who wouldn't buy that house for 44 grand? It literally is worth $1.5 million fixed up right. So I think I'll take my chances on that. So I actually had to pay those taxes on that. So
when you know that there is so much of scope for the profits, why bid is not raised? Why there are no less bidders?
Okay, that's a good point. Now, there's so many properties that go with these sales. One, that some people focus on certain areas. Like some of the big buyers want office buildings or apartment complexes. This one did get bid up. It started at $7 grand, right? Or like seven. It was like $7,000 or $8,000 was the tax. We got it for 21. So there's guys down here that are bidding. Everybody's trying to steal something. So some of them get bid up too far, right? It just depends on how many people want that property. It's just a supply and demand thing. That one there, a lot of people were scared of. I own my construction company, right? So I know I can get that work done for 400 grand, but that's my cost. So there was a lot of X factors in that. Plus there was a federal tax lien on it. A lot of people are real scared of the federal tax liens. They don't think they can get clear title. So this one had some red flags that scared some people off, but I know how to navigate through those things. So this one here just had a couple extra little bells and whistles on it, right? And, you know, it was a real, that was after I cut the trees down. There were so many trees, you couldn't even see this house. It was like, no one had been here. I don't even know how long it had been. But there was trees all over the house. I mean, it was almost falling down in such bad shape, had a foundation problem on the side. So it just, I don't know. Sometimes that house goes for a lot more, sometimes it doesn't, you know. That's why I go to the auctions. I'll be sitting there looking at houses sometimes. I'm thinking, okay, my max bid on this house is 10 grand. And it goes up to 80. And I'm like, these guys are morons that bid this up to 80 grand. Other times my max bid, like on this one, was 150. I got it for 21. It's like, I don't, you know, it's just like anything. It's a crapshoot. I just got to show up to the parties. Sometimes I win them, sometimes I lose them. So.